Good morning. Schedule C. We are going to fill out part 2 expenses, but from line 28 to line 31. So if you are a sole proprietor or you have an L.L.C and you are the only owner of that business, you are going to fill out Schedule C. If you are a statutory employee, you are going to fill out Schedule C. If you are a notary public, you are going to fill out Schedule C. So let's get started. We have multiple short videos to cover different sections of Schedule C for you to understand how that schedule works, and if you want to fill it up yourself, you'll be able to fill it out with your business information, or if you want somebody else to work on it for you, you know how to record your expenses year around to have the information in another that will be easy to just put in the area that they will go. So if you have the expenses well organized, you are just one step away from filling up the form yourself. So if you are on low budget and you are trying to get your business off the ground, you are limiting expenses, it will take you longer than a professional, but you'll be able to fill up your form yourself. And Schedule C is a form that is attached to 1040 as well. So if you are filling out Schedule C, chances are you are going to fill out 1040. And as a business and filling out 1040, sometimes it can be challenging because many forms that are from many firms will land on schedule on 1040. So sometimes it might be advisable to use a star software to fill up your 1040, but still, when you know where those expenses and income should go, it's easy to review your task to make sure the way you answer the question that the software asks you. Since many software will use interview mode, you will be able to easily expect you have an expectation, and you're going to review your form before you submit it to make sure numbers pull out to where you want them. Or if you are using a software that you can access the form, you'll be able to fill up the form easily because you know where those expenses should go. So now that we are done with part 2, line 18 to 27, now we are going to work on 28. Total expenses before expenses for business use of a home. So add line 8 through 27. And line 8, we have $3 there, and 27 we have 32, so that is 35. So we are going to put 35 here. So tentative profit or loss. Subtract line 28 from line 7. Line 7 has 40. So 40 minus 35 is giving us 5 gross profits. Line 29, that's that 5. So line 30, expenses for business use of your home. That's I'm not going to go much on that, but I have in my notes that we can just skip through. But when you are for your home, you have the option. If you are using a part of your home for your business, you have the option to use the simplified method or claim the actual expense. and you don't even have to ask IRS permission to switch from one method to the other. You cannot claim both the same year, but you can claim one year and claim the other the next year. But if you claim actual expenses 1 year, the next year you claim simplified method. That year you claim simplified method, you cannot claim depreciation side of the house that same year that you claim simplified method. You will continue the depreciation the year you claim the actual expenses again. But there is this form 8829 that needs to be attached if you are using actual expenses, unless you are using simplified method. And if you are using simplified method, you will enter the total square footage of your home, and we can just put 1,000 square footage here, for instance, and the part of the house used for business, you will put it here as well, square footage wise as well here. And pretty much the simplified method is the square footage for the business, which should not exceed 300 square footage times $5 is what you are claiming. And when you are claiming the simplified method, you don't claim depreciation or anything like that. And before, when you claim actual expenses, when you sell the house, the depreciation that you claim using the actual expenses, the depreciation that you claim, you'll add it back to figure out the profit that is taxable for your house. You have to take that depreciation income back into consideration. But I think they waive it now. I'm not sure, but I think so, that I read it somewhere, that you don't need to add the depreciation back after you sold the house. And one more thing is you can switch between the two without problem. But I like to simplify. I like to use the simplified method. But let's read a little bit about the actual. And if you are using actual expenses, you fill out 8829. You don't need to put the square footage here for the business or for the whole house. You don't need to fill up those two areas. It's just for the simplified method. And for the simplified method, if you go on the instructions, IRA instructions for Schedule C 1040, they have the simplified method worksheet that you'll be able to use to calculate the amount. Let's see if we can pull that form 8829. We are on the IRS website here. And let's just put form 8829. And when you enter, it's good to click on the search things here. If you click enter, sometimes it does not understand it. So that's the form here. It will come usually with the instructions. That's the instructions here that helps you to understand it. But let's just open the form here. And that's the form. If you are claiming the actual expenses, you have to fill up this form. And let's read my notes a little bit on that. So pretty much that's that. If you want to claim the simplified method, yeah, the square footage cannot be more than 300 square footage. And the simplified method or actual method can be switched. We talked about that already. If you have more than one business running from home, you could use the simplified method for all your businesses, making sure that the total does not exceed that 300 square footage threshold. And you cannot claim depreciation for the year you use the simplified method. there is a gross income limitation that will reduce the amount to report here. So if you are claiming the simplified method and your expenses is more than, pretty much is putting your gross tentative gain is less than how much you are claiming, you can now carry over to the following year while you didn't deduct. So pretty much you cannot report all your simplified method deduction here. You cannot carry over to the next year either. But for the actual expenses deduction, you can accrue over the following year you didn't use the simplified method. So if your accrued expenses are more than your gain and you have to carry over the following year, if you still claim actual expenses, you'll be able to carry over to that year. But if you claim simplified method, you won't use it. You'll keep your carry over and pretty much will accrue it and then carry it over to the year that you will use the actual expenses. Again, that's if you are switching between the two. But yeah, you can carry over actual expenses, but you cannot carry over simplified method deduction if you don't claim it all in the year that they belong to. So the worksheet on page 11 and 13 of IRS Schedule C Form 1040 instructions, you can use that to calculate your simplified method deduction, and daycare providers should be able to use it as well. I think one form belongs to daycare provider and the first one belongs to the simplified method. So now that we covered that part, I have not claimed anything here because I wanted to reflect some profits. I'm fine now claiming my business use of the house. So my business is young and I prefer to do it that way. So it's okay for me now to claim some expenses even if I have the right to claim them. So now that we covered line 30, line 31. Line 31 is net profit or loss. So you have to subtract line 30 from line 29. So if you have claimed a business use of the house, whatever the amount is here will come out of this gross tentative profit here. So if the line 31 is more than line 29, don't know if they have some information here, then you have to fill up a form. So if a profit, so they're talking about a profit first. So if a profit, that means line 30 is less than line 29, enter on both schedule 1 form 1040 line 3 and on schedule SE line 2. So, and if it is a loss, that means line 30 is more than line 29, you must go to line 32. So let's read my notes on line 31. I don't feel like the form here is telling us much. So if your expenses are more than your income, that means line 30 is more than line 29. Yeah, you complete line 32 first and probably you'll fill out form 8582 to be able to complete line 31. And form 8582, we can pull it out as well and see how it looks like. Form 85, what was it again? Is it 8529? 8582. 8582, excuse me. So while that is searching, I just press enter and that executed. That's good. So that's passive activity loss limitation. They have the instruction as well. So let's just click on that. So pretty much let's go look at 32 to see why. If we go to 32, you might probably fill up this form. So if you have a loss, line 30 is more than line 29, you go to line 32. So line 32, if you have a loss, check the box that describe your investment is in this activity. So we already covered this line 32 in another video, but pretty much what it is that if you have a loss, well, you have to answer the question whether or not all your investment is at risk or not. So, and that's what will guide you to how you'll fill up line that form 8582. And also, if not all your investment is at risk, even if all your investment is at risk, there is that let's see what is saying here. So if you check 32A, enter a loss on both schedule 1 and line 3 of that. But so if you check line 32B, you must attach 618098. So that's that. So it does not really talk about that form 8582. So let's go take a look at the form again. And I think the reason why we need to complete this form is if you are not actively involved with your business, which I would think you should if you are a sole proprietor. So you may not really need this form depending on the business you are in, but it's worth taking a look at it to see if there is a side of it that will require you to fill out. So pretty much total loss allowed, add your income if any. So I'm not really seeing anything here that we are required to fill out in our condition. Let's go back to our form, but just keep that in mind that depending on the business you are in, you might need it. So if your income is more than as your expense, which that means line 29 is more than line 30, you could complete form 8582 to see if there is an unallowed loss from prior year to deduct from the profit before reporting the balance on line 31. So if there is some expenses that you are not allowed to deduct prior year, so I think form 8582 will help you track all of that to see if you'll be able to deduct it before entering the balance on line 31. So if you are a no republic, you do not enter your result on from line 31 or line 32 of self-employment form, because no republic does not pay self-employment on their revenue. The same thing goes to statutory employees as well. Any balance from line 31 should not go on Schedule SE, line 2 either, because their employers should have taken Social Security and Medicare out of their income on W2. And we look at W2 before for statutory employees. The boss 13, a boss under 13 will be checked for statutory employees. So let's go back to here again. So if you have a profit, in our case we have a profit. So if you have a profit, you'll put a pretty much is the difference between 30 and 29, so that's 5, and that will go on 1040 schedule 1, and I'm not sure we have it open, line 3. And if we go back here, probably form 1040. We will be able to pull the schedule 1 and line 3 here of schedule 1 for 1040. So we'll put that 5 pretty much will go somewhere here. That's that. And let's go back again. So if it is a loss, then you must go to line 32. And line 32 asks you to check line 32A or line 32B. So if you check line 32B, then you have to attach form CC 198. And pretty much what is all investment is pretty much what you invest in your business, if it's at risk or not. And we covered that in another video. And I will try to link all those short videos URL listed in the description for you to be able to watch them if you are interested. Thank you for watching. That's how you fill up your schedule C. And pretty much we just fill it all up from the top all the way to the bottom, starting from the end to go to the top and ending it here. And that's our profit, $5 from this business. That will go on our 1040 schedule 1 line 3. Yes, line 3. And schedule C at that stage is done. And if you need to pull out a form from IRS website, you just do it the same way I just did it. And they have the instructions for schedule C that you could read to understand better some areas that seems confusing. Thank you for watching. I'm Afiavi Ojune Liberman, creators of Liberman Consulting L.L.C YouTube channel and owners of Nina Soap. And our website is ninasoap.com. I will have my notes on my blog, and I will have it probably in the description as well. And our website, we have free downloads section, some for task form, but I'm not sure I have a form there for schedule C. So you just have to go to IRS website to just search for those forms there. And the good news is when you are on a road that require a form, they will list it there for you, and you just go pull it out from IRS websites. So understanding your schedule helps you, even if you are using a tax software, to fill it out properly. And I did a video about how to find free software to file your taxes, and I did it, and I have it out there. Probably was more related to coronavirus stimulus check, but if you have now filed your tax yet and you are looking for free return, probably it may not be free for you, but those software or tax companies will have an affordable fee for you to use their software and file your tax online and do it yourself, since we are at home and you need to get those things you need to get them down. Yes, you might want to get it down if you are eligible for coronavirus stimulus. I have a video on that as well, on what goes into your adjust gross income that is being taken into consideration, and the eligibility factors as well. So get your tax done on time if you want to get your check early. Thank you. And if you like our video, please, we invite you to subscribe and click like as well.